I'm Mrs. Davies. I have been a teacher here at Crosskeilly School since 2003, but I actually started teaching before that, so this is actually now my 30th year of teaching, and I teach IT now, but originally I just taught business. Business was my subject, my degree, and I taught business for most of that time. The brand has to follow that, and I've worked very hard on PR during my year now. And talk about, in business, we talk about merchandising and visual merchandising, having storytelling and landscaping. And so I've used that in all my Facebook posts in particular, because they're nice long posts, aren't they, to actually tell a story.
Yeah.
So rather than just saying, we went to the garden and did some gardening, there's a bit of a story, to get people to read about what we're doing. So that's the key, is branding is more than just the logo. It is about those powerful messages.
Yeah.
So instead, what I did when I took over was I created a 3-year strategic plan in line with the areas plan.
Yeah.
And put them into sections and talked about, and all of them were thinking about the impact on us, impact on the community, and so on. And then I've just had my AGM last week, and what I did was, for each area, I took those aims and I ragged them. So all the ones that I thought, yes, we've done those, we're really successful, I made green. All the ones I thought we haven't either tried and it was a failure, I made red. Or ones we haven't even tried yet, but it's a 3-year plan, we're red. And then some that we started but still need more time on, we're yellow. So that in a way is a really good analysis, because that can now form the plan for this next year.
This is my third podcast on the Business Talks, but this is my first in-person one. Good afternoon, Miss Davis. Thank you for coming on.
All right, welcome.
If you could please introduce yourself and give me some background into your career and where you are now, please.
Okay, so I'm Mrs. Davis. I have been a teacher here at Crosskeilly School since 2003, but I actually started teaching before that, so this is actually now my 30th year of teaching, and I teach IT now, but originally I just taught business. Business was my subject, my degree, and I taught business for most of that time.
And who were your influences in your early life, and how have you carried these influences into your life now?
I'd say my biggest influence was actually my dad. My dad was actually originally an engineer, but he went into business and he actually got something called an MBA from Bristol University, which is it's like the highest business qualification you can actually get. And that's where my interest for business actually came from.
And what did you want to be when you were younger, and when did you know you wanted to be a teacher?
Well, I did the usual thing, go to careers officer, who did like a little quiz to find out what I could be, and the options were teacher, prison officer. So it's not much different really, is it? And I decided that I really liked business, and that's what I wanted to do.
If we move over to studies and career,
Mm-hmm.
What did you study at university, and did you go to university straight after secondary school, or where did you go to secondary school?
Okay, so I'm not from here originally. I'm from a little town just outside Bristol, and I went to the same secondary school for my GCSEs and my A-levels, and I went straight to Southampton University, where I studied business. I left there after 3 years, and I did a PGC in business in the University of Greenwich in London, which was quite interesting because one of my placements was in a school on a road called Old Kent Road. Have you ever heard of that, Old Kent Road?
No, I don't think
It's
so.
one of the roads that's on Monopoly board.
Oh, yeah.
It's the cheap one.
Yeah.
The really, really cheap one. So you can imagine how rough it was.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. Yeah.
What teacher inspired you, and what lessons did you take away from them into your teaching?
From school?
Yeah.
I'd say what I learned I would never do myself, which might be more interesting. We had a supply teacher. I know you love supply teachers, don't you? Had supply teachers, and she was a bit hippy dippy, and I can remember the boys getting her boot off her and throwing it out the window. And I vowed that I'd never be that sort of person that would end up having my shoe thrown out the window. So that was my aim, was for that to never happen to me.
What are the biggest lessons you've learned from teaching over the years?
Just how the influence you have on so many children that grow into adults. I mean, 30 years. I mean, I have obviously students I've taught who are now married, have their own kids and so on. And I'm in touch with so many of them. And even if they were people that possibly didn't very much like what I had to say at the time, have grown up to actually quite appreciate me. Because I'll give you one example. I went on a WJC course for business GCSE,
Yeah.
and a guy from 2 tables away came up to me and he goes, "Mrs. Davies, do you remember me?" So he's a teacher.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's how I normally answer. And he goes, "I was in your form, if you remember, and when I was doing UCAS applications, I said I couldn't be bothered, and you said you just went, 'Can't be bothered, can't be bothered. I'll give you I can't be bothered,' and you made me sit down and research universities, and you made me apply, and I owe my life to you, because I'm now a qualified teacher, I have a mortgage, I have children, and I have a job that I love." So that's just one example. There's so many examples of how you can influence somebody's whole life.
Yeah, and it's nice to take away those types of things as well.
Yeah, and it still happens now. I mean, the other day in Sainsbury's, somebody shouted from across the car park, and I do go, then try and work out who they are later.
Now, if we go over to the Rotary Club, because I have heard you have quite a big impact in the Rotary Club. How did you become involved in the Rotary Club, and what is the purpose of the Rotary Club?
So I came into Rotary quite late, actually. Before Rotary, I mean, still now, I do a lot of voluntary work with Girl Guiding, and that teacher who used to be here, actually, do you remember Mr. Pippin?
No.
He was a supply drama teacher, but he was in Rotary, and I'd seen him talk about it and talk about things they do, and I'd said, "Oh, that's quite interesting, but it's not for me." And he said, "Why is it not for you?" I said, "Well, it can't be for me. You know, I'm not a business person. I'm not a man to start off with. I'm not old." And he said, "No, honestly, it's open to everyone. Come along." And that was only 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I went to my first meeting, and that was it, really. Fell in love with it. Because Rotary is actually, I've got a few figures for you. It's a network of 1.2 million volunteers across the world.
Wow.
So that's a really big network. And you can call a Rotarian for anything. In fact, next week, half term, I'm going up north, and I'm actually going to go visit a Rotary Club up north and go for lunch with them. You know, so that you could go anywhere. Miss Fazon's been to Rotary Club in her hometown in France. So you can call on them wherever you are.
And what would you say the main purpose of the Rotary Club is?
Well, the main purpose is to work with communities with what they need and find out what they need, not just tell them what they need, both locally and globally. It's a global, you know, we try to do something local and something global every year.
What is the Rotary Club and the history of it? How do they support people?
Okay, so Rotary actually was founded in 1911. Okay, and I'll read out the purposes. It's to promote peace. Okay, fight disease, provide clean water, sanitation and hygiene, save mothers and children, support education, grow local economies and protect the environment. So it's quite widespread, and we try to do a little bit of that even locally in our little Rotary in Hentless. We try to touch on all of those things. And an interesting fact, even though Rotary was founded in 1911, it wasn't until 1989 that the first woman was allowed to join Rotary Club.
Wow.
Okay, so 1911, you think about 1911, that's when the suffragettes were around, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it took until 1989 for the first woman. And even now, there are clubs now who frown upon women joining.
Yeah, they still don't allow them.
And they're not saying they're not allowed them, but they make it very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So therefore, people they don't stay. So our Rotary Club is very different. We're mainly women. We actually only have 2 men.
Yeah.
And we're all quite young as well. We're all people that still work or only just retired. So we are a very different Rotary Club to what's normally out there. Just try to change that perception to the people, really.
What strategic partnerships have you developed with who and how, and what do these partnerships offer?
Do you know what? I never even thought about this until I saw this question from you, because I actually don't think we have any strategic partnerships, and that's an excellent idea and something that that I could explore. We have strategic partnerships as Rotary International, that the whole organisation has relationships with Shelterbox, with Water Aid, lots of different charities. But us in Hentless, as an individual club, we don't really have that partnership where both organisations would benefit. So that's a good thing for me to take forward, really. So thank you.
So, how did you become president at the Rotary Club?
Okay, so it's a bit of a journey. You basically have to be nominated by somebody, and you accept. But you get nominated 3 years before your year as president. So you start off as a president nominee, then a president-elect, and then you become the president. So it's a bit of a journey of a couple of years, and you're only president for 1 year. So you can, I think it's mainly because you can, I suppose if you haven't done a very good job, they can get rid of you. But also, it's very hard work, and it's full on. Or I have to do something for Rotary every single day.
Yeah.
So whether you'd be able to sustain that long term, I don't know. And plus, you get fresh ideas as well, don't you?
Yeah, true. How does the Rotary Club raise money, and how do you ensure sustainability?
Right. So as a club, we raise money through Davies events. So we have the same events every year that raise the money for the same causes. So, for example, we have a Halloween hunt at Hentless Park every year, and the locals all know about it. They're all what time's the Halloween hunt going to be? They all know 31st of October is Hentless Rotary's Halloween hunt, and every year it gets bigger and bigger because people know about it. And that raises money for End Polio Now. So that amount of money we know we're going to get every year for End Polio Now. And we also have a Christmas fair at the beginning of December. And again, people know about it, and they know that they want to stall there, or they want to come and visit. And every year that gets bigger and bigger. But that's not for a specific charity. That's for our charity.
Yeah.
So if there's money there, if we need it for something else. So that's where it's sustained, is our successful charity events. We keep going, which means that if you introduce something new and that's successful, that's another thing that you've got to keep going. It's a bit of a treadmill, really. Some Rotary clubs do big things. For example, Abergavenny have a steam rally, and Abergavenny Rotary Club help them to run that. And it's coming up soon now. And I think I saw in a post today, 25 years they've been doing that, and they've raised something like £5 million or something. Cardiff Rotary Club, they run the Christmas car park in Cardiff by the museum.
Yeah.
And it's £20 a day over Christmas, all the Christmas shopping. And you can imagine, they earn thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. So we're not like that. We're more hands-on kind of club. We're not just do one thing and that's it. We'd rather do lots of little things.
So how many of the little charity events would you say you do a year?
Probably about, altogether, about 15 or so. Mm-hmm. And each one will raise about £100 upwards.
Yeah. What does the Rotary Club do to support people, and how do you track the number of communities you impact, and how?
I think, like I just said, I think what we like to do, not just raise money, but actually help people physically as well. So what we do is, like, we help our local community by litter picking. We also help with somebody who wants help. So somebody says, we could really do with a hand with such and such. We'll go and help. Hentless Village Hall, for example, have a film night. We go help put the chairs out, put the chairs away. Sounds silly, doesn't it? But actually it saves somebody that job. We steward at Crowfest.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go and we help at Crowfest. We help churches if they need an extra pair of hands. We do a lot of that extra pair of hands when somebody just needs something, as well as raising money.
The Crow's Nest, that's the singing. musician thing,
Yeah, so
isn't
it's a
it?
music festival that's in July. It was last year was the first one. It was very wet and rainy, but this year is going to be bigger and better,
It was at
hopefully.
Cumberland Stadium last
Cobra
year, wasn't it?
Stadium, that's it.
How can people become involved in the Rotary Club? Do you have to pay to become part of the club, and what opportunities are there?
Okay, so yes, you do have to pay. Okay, so it's £12 a month, but that goes towards. I mean, I think goes towards the things that first of all you have to be a member of Rotary International, so it goes for those subs. It goes towards a little bit of fundraising for things that we have to pay for every year. Like, for example, we do some raffle tickets
Yeah.
for St David's Hospice. So rather than us putting a hand in our pocket, it comes out of our subs.
Yeah.
And it'll go towards things like, for example, little things like tomorrow, for example, Young Citizens Award night. And so we've got a young man from our Interact Club coming with his mum to receive an award, and Miss Butler's coming as well. And it'll pay the money that we've put in our £12. It will pay for their meals for the night.
Yeah.
That's, because that's got to come from somewhere, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But I've worked really hard to try and get the message out on social media. So you can contact us through social media, our email, or usually it's just by knowing somebody.
Yeah.
That's how we've grown the most, is just by knowing somebody.
A lot of things grow more by that.
Yeah, exactly.
What are the values of the Rotary Club, and what strategies are in place to grow the Rotary Club?
Okay, so Rotary International has always had the same values. Okay, service, fellowship, which is like it's a funny word, fellowship. It's about being kind to other humans,
Yeah.
and then friendship. Okay, diversity, integrity, and leadership. Those are our key values, and everything we do is about those things. Service, for example, our motto is service above self. So that basically means that we are trying to help. Not putting yourself last, but giving us a little bit of yourself to help other people. Okay, and it's really hard. Growing membership is really, really hard with everything. As people get older, obviously they're no longer there, and it's having new young people coming up behind them. And like I said to you, those clubs which don't allow women, those clubs are all closing slowly because, quite frankly, they're not lasting very long in their years. Yeah, and so when all these old men are passing away, the clubs are just closing because there's nobody there to keep going. So it's about keeping fresh and new, and I've even started a TikTok account. Yeah. It's about trying to find different markets for different people. I've managed to get in the last two weeks, so I've managed to get 2 potential members just by social media.
Yeah.
So that's the way, I think, is trying to be new and asking people. Literally, I'll go talking to somebody that I've never spoken to. Have you ever thought about Rotary? But that's the only way you can do it.
Yeah. How do you brand the Rotary Club, and how?
Okay, so branding is all about having a clear message. Okay, and Rotary is all about creating powerful messages. So it's more than just a logo and a slogan, because a logo obviously is given to us. We have to keep to the same colours, fonts, and all that sort of stuff. And our slogans are given to us. We've got 2, service above self and people in action. But it's more than that. So people in action, for example, when I post on social media, or I put something in a newsletter or flyer, or anywhere where I put images of us, they won't be images of us all stood nicely in a little group. If it is, it'd be like a selfie of some sort, which is a little bit more personal. It won't be me giving a check to somebody. It's all about us actually doing something. So I've just produced a new flyer now where there's photos of us gardening, because we've got a community garden. So it's not I've got photos of us in ball gowns and black tie, but that's not what Rotary's about, really, is it? So though we do have photos like that, it's all about the powerful messages that we're doing something. So the photos and the brand has to follow that. And I've worked very hard on PR during my year now. And talk about, in business, we talk about merchandising and visual merchandising, having storytelling and landscaping. And so I've used that in all my Facebook posts in particular, because they're nice long posts, aren't they, to actually tell a story.
Yeah.
So rather than just saying, we went to the garden and did some gardening, there's a bit of a story, to get people to read about what we're doing. So that's the key, is branding is more than just the logo. It is about those powerful messages.
Yeah. What ethical issues, if any, do you have to consider as president as of the Royalty Club?
Okay, so there's lots of ethical issues. There's obviously legal issues as well. For example, keeping to the Charity Commission laws for the accounts and finances and things like that. But ethical issues to do with membership, we're diverse. We should allow everybody and anybody to join if they want to join. They could be, not very good.
Yeah.
They may not come to meetings, or they may be really annoying. They may have a voice that grates on you, but you can't not let them join because of that. So, and things like, I think internal club dynamics are the big thing to do with ethical issues, really. We have actually in Rotary, we have like a test, and it's basically whether we post something or say something or write something, we have to think about, is it the truth? Is it fair to everyone concerned? Will it build goodwill and friendship? And will it be beneficial to everyone concerned? And so Rotary's thought about the fact that they've got to think about the ethics, because you're dealing with people sometimes who are, what's the word, like they're in need themselves and are vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to think about how you're dealing with them as well. I mean, we, for example, might be, collecting something for children. We're not going to put those photos of those children all over our Facebook, that sort of thing.
Yeah. What are your major challenges as president of the Rotary Club?
People are challenging. People are challenging, and we meet twice a month. We meet on the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday of a month. But we have a lot of communication in between, and I think communication that's not face to face can be interpreted in different ways, and what one person thinks it says is not what somebody else has read it as, and I'm the first, to be honest. So I have a nominated person who reads some of my texts or emails, or I go and rant somewhere else and then write the email or the text that I need to write. Or if I haven't done anything and I've kept really calm, somebody will text me, go, well done. We noticed you didn't bite there. But people is, it is the hardest thing of the job. Hardest thing.
Yeah. When you became president of the Rotary Club, what did you set out to do?
So my aim was to modernise our club. The club was always known as a very modern club, but it's already 20 years old. So modern 20 years ago compared to modern now are two different things. So my aim was to modernise and to streamline what we were doing. So we're a very small club. There's only 18 of us. And on average, really, to a business meeting, 10, 12 turn up. But we had like 5 teams. There's like 2 people per team would turn up, and then you couldn't really do anything.
No.
So I streamlined everything to 3 teams that I thought were the most important. I also wanted to really totally overhaul PR, because they had 4 people that used to be able to have a Facebook account, and 4 different people all posting meant that there was no clear message, no clear brand. So I kicked everyone off. And all my posts have very clear style.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's created a brand in itself, like that storytelling that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
I've suddenly discovered there was an Instagram account that nobody told me there was, so it shows how bad the PR actually was. That's been harder to resurrect, because whoever was running it before has just made friends with lots of other Rotary clubs.
Yeah.
And so it hasn't really had many likes and stuff because it's not really aimed at the right people at the moment.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just started a TikTok, and my daughter says, "Mum, you know, you've got, oh, how do I get lots of views and stuff?" And I have got huge amount of views, like, might not be huge compared to other people, but some of my videos will get 800 views, which is a lot, really.
Yeah.
And I've got quite a few follows, and my mum goes, "Yeah, but Mum, just getting weirdos following you." But one of my last ones, I had a lot of girls following me, and then when I looked at it, they were actually Rotary actors, which is like Rotary Club for university age.
Yeah.
So it actually, I think it started to get a little bit of a following, and then Rotary International followed me, so I was really happy.
Yeah. How do you undertake a pestle analysis?
So we don't really do a pestle analysis. And in fact, until I took over, there wasn't really a strategic plan. There wasn't a strategic plan. At the end of the year, there was all these goals that we kind of went, "Oh, we've done that one tick. We've done that one tick," like the set goals for Rotary.
Yeah.
So instead, what I did when I took over was I created a 3-year strategic plan in line with the areas plan.
Yeah.
And put them into sections and talked about, and all of them were thinking about the impact on us, impact on the community, and so on. And then I've just had my AGM last week, and what I did was for each area, I took those aims and I ragged them. So all the ones that I thought, yes, we've done those, we're really successful, I made green. All the ones I thought we haven't either tried and it was a failure, I made red. Or ones we haven't even tried yet, but it's a 3-year plan, we're red. And then some that we started but still need more time on, we're yellow. So that in a way is a really good analysis, because that can now form the plan for this next year, which actually starts in July. We'll be working on the yellows, really. And that also means, because we've got different presidents every year, actually you've got like a follow through, as opposed to doing something completely new again.
Yeah, that's true. Good to go back on the how did you become president of the Rotary Club? As you said, it's a 3-year step. Do you know, after you've had your time, it goes on someone else, is there like a chance you can go back, or when you've done your year,
yes,
it's over?
You can go back. And in fact, I'm actually staying on until January, because the person who was going to be president next actually left.
Yeah.
So the person after him, we're sharing this year, so I'm going to do till January, and then she's going to do from January to July, and then she'll have her year.
Yeah.
So that's how we decided to do it. So in a way, it was quite good that we had a 3-year plan, because she's on board with that 3-year plan. So at least this next year, we'll be doing exactly the same thing all the way through. If she wants to do something new in her proper year, then she can, because actually we'll be into the 3rd year, and really we should be thinking about a new 3-year plan then.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you can be president again, because it kind of goes around the room and go, "Oh, who should we nominate?" And then they'll be going, "Not me, not me, not me."
Yeah.
So it is possible. And in fact, in January, I'll become club secretary. And club secretary is there for a minimum of 3 to 5 years, but usually 5 years.
Yeah.
And actually, club secretary is a real boss.
Yeah.
Because they're the person that's there all the time, and they're the person that, because the president doesn't know what they're doing, they're the one that they ask the secretary all the time. So it's quite good that I'm going to go to secretary, because I've learned so much. Because I go to my secretary all the time and go, "Oh, Paula, can you read this? Do I need to add anything else?" Or, "Oh, you know that thing we said, is that now?" She always knows. She's like an oracle. So hopefully that'll be me.
How long do you think you'll stay at the Rotary Club for?
Oh, I'm forever.
Now we move over to businesses. What business or businesses have you become a founder of, and what businesses are there?
Okay, so about 9-10 years ago, my daughter was it that long ago? No, it can't have been. It's been less than that. Maybe 6-7 years ago. I can't keep track. My daughter was doing her bronze Duke of Edinburgh. Her skill was going to be henna. And she said, "Oh, Mum, will you do it with me?" So we both practiced, and we were taking our brownies to Disney in 2019. And we were doing lots of fundraising. So I did big events. I did Henna's Fate, and I was doing henna for loads of people. And the money was going to my brownies to go to Disney. And somebody said, why are you doing this for other people's children? Why are you not making a business and do it for yourself? And so that's what I did. So I set it up as a business, and I was really, really successful. So I did fetes and things like that, but I also did private bookings and parties and so on. And then I went on to doing crafts, so henna designs using acrylic paints on anything that had a surface. Christmas baubles, those light up bottles, glasses, plates, tea lights, candles, bags, anything you think of. And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And when COVID hit, I carried on doing, I did hand sanitizer bottles, and I did a few things by post because people couldn't obviously go to shop. So I had quite a lot of sales for things like diaries and that sort of stuff I could post out. But the henna side of it, obviously I couldn't do because that's like a personal less than 2 meter job, isn't it?
Yes.
And then when like lockdowns, all that was over, and I was like, oh, what shall I do? Shall I carry on with it or not? I went to go try and find my insurance. The insurance was so expensive. I thought, well, this is like kind of a hobby, and really, it's not worth it. I've got to have quite a lot of clients in order to cover that insurance. Yeah. And so I kind of stopped. I do still do henna under my Rotary insurance to raise money for other people again. I've gone a full circle and gone back to just raising money for other people. But I loved being a business owner.
Yeah. Is henna just like pen, or is it a special?
So henna is like a paste that's made out of a leaf of a plant, and it basically stains your skin for up to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's very popular. So I'll be at the big event. This year doing henna for lots of people.
How do you ensure the sustainability of this business, and how do you generate profit over the long-term period and compete with other business in the sector?
So I was quite lucky. I didn't have any competitors. Okay. There was one that popped up on Facebook, and her work was so atrocious. I emailed all the locals, like fetes and fairs and things like that, and said, please don't accept her to come to your event because it's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
So locally I was the only one. I still get messages of people saying, oh, can you come do my daughter's henna or whatever? Can you do a party? And the items, the craft items, did so well. But I think if I started it up again, it'd probably do well again. But I was spending until 2-3 in the morning painting baubles.
Yeah.
After a day of work, a day at guiding, and a day at Rotary, and have a family.
Yeah.
So, and I'd be up to 2 painting because people wanted like a whole Christmas tree's worth of baubles.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all very well painting, but how do you then dry them? So I had like baubles pinned all over the place. So and that wasn't sustainable. Wasn't sustainable. I have a lot of unpainted baubles in my attic that my husband wants me to get rid of at the moment.
Will the henna stay on the baubles forever?
So that's paint. So I use acrylic paint in the same style and the same kind of patterns. But once they're dry, they stay on.
What was the name of your business, and do you offer products or services, or both? What's the service?
And products, isn't it?
Oh yes, true.
Yeah, so it's goods and service, and it was Designs on You.
What are the biggest lessons you've learned from running a business, and how difficult is it to run a business in this economy?
I think I relied on friends and family a lot. I still got some people who go, my auntie still wants one of your diaries, and nobody else is using it. Like the diaries, nobody uses the diary anymore, except for this one lady. For every year, I have to do one diary for this one lady. So things like, it's choosing products that are going to be products that, once you've had your whole Christmas tree done, nobody's going to buy baubles from me again.
Yeah.
I think if it was my actual business and I wasn't working, I would have had to think about it very differently to how it was more like a hobby business for me. It was just doing something I liked doing. If it was an actual full-time job business, I think I would have struggled big time, and then COVID would have wiped me out, to be honest.
I think, is that all the questions we have on
I think so.
So let's end off with, thank you for coming on, Miss. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.